Here we are again at the Square Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. We're here every week, twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tonight, we're going to be examining the struggles the AEW is having in the ratings. Taking a look at Raw. We're taking a look at SmackDown and just sundry news tidbits. But Don really wanted to go into, he's been slaving over these ratings numbers on a granular level all day long. My name is Johnny Bottles. To my left is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist, as you know him from Twitter. We're going to get right into it. Don, what do you got first?
The internet became ablaze Sunday morning because a famous tweet came out, said the overnights for the AEW Saturday show were abysmal. The overnights said they did 122,000 views. A lot of times those numbers can be off, right? They can be way off sometimes because they're fast overnights. Well, it didn't stop everybody from Twitter from losing their minds and going nuts and going all in on them. I sat back and sort of watched what was happening, figured out what was going on. By the way, thank you all for joining us this evening. This fine summer breeze moment is brought to you by vodka. When shit's in pain, drink vodka. I started doing some research, and it came out today, and the numbers came out. At the end of the day, it was 378,000 people actually watched this show when you count up the DVRs and the Fashion Nationals and all that other shit, right? There was no NBA action. There was an NHL game. But here's the thing. Everybody losing their minds about this, saying, well, they actually did 378. That's actually really good. Bottles, on a scale of 1 to 10, for the lowest rating of the 2024 year, where do you think this lands in that spectrum of shitty shows that they put on this Saturday thing?
Of this year, Strictly Collision? Strictly Collision we're talking about right now.
Strictly Collision.
I would have to say this is the third lowest.
You'd be pretty close. It's actually tied for second, and it tied the number from 3 weeks ago for second place. The lowest number they did this year was January 27th for 300,000 views. And here's the other kicker.
Well, hang on a second. Before you go into this, let me ask you, have you taken into consideration the time slot? Because sometimes it gets moved around.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm looking at the numbers, and you could tell when they had their special shows. Because it's 450, 460, 460, 460, 621 out of nowhere. Then it goes back to 378, 523 out of nowhere. It's this back and forth conundrum that they have right now. Where
like an RKO, right out of nowhere.
It's not a good show. And I wanted to bring this up because everybody's going to say, you guys shit on AEW. Guys, we were watching this show, the Saturday show when it first started. You and I both watched this show, correct?
And we loved it.
You said almost a year ago, because get this, next week, I believe, marks the 1-year anniversary of the show. It started June 17th. So technically, I think we're still 2 weeks away. 2 Saturdays away from a 1-year anniversary. When it first started, it wasn't presented like any other show that was currently on television. None of them. And you said at the time, I've read and I've heard that this is the show that they're giving CM Punk to run. This is the show that you had heard. CM Punk is going to be in charge. You don't know how much he had to do with the booking. You didn't know anything about that. But you said, this is what it is. And I said, really? Okay, Bottles. Come to find out, we get the down and dirty from CM Punk 6 months later. Guess what? This was CM Punk's show. It was his alternative. It was to keep him off of the Wednesday show to make sure that he and the Young Bucks didn't cross paths ever again, to make sure that they could stay in the same company, just on 2 different shows, right? That's how it started. The problem was...
The rumor going around was that he was booking the show, and we couldn't confirm it until he did that. I believe he did the interview with Ariel Helwani, and I think he confirmed the fact that he was booking that show.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different little things going into this. Like I said, we love the show. They presented it when it opened up every Saturday. They had like a little segment on why you were getting the main event. What was the problem? Here's the beef. I got an issue with you. Oh, yeah, well, we got an issue with you, and here's why. It felt like an old school wrestling angle. You knew why you were there. You know what direction the show was going. You knew what was going down. It felt like a good time to be had. And the biggest thing of the whole thing was CM Punk was actually on the show and FTR was still relevant and not losing their shit. That was another big part of this whole thing. They weren't losing their shit yet and coming completely unglued and blocking everybody and their mother on the Twitter machine. That was another part. Matter of fact, we had the tag team match of the year on that show, if you remember.
It was CM Punk and FTR versus
FTR. It was just FTR. It was just FTR. I remember it. CM Punk was part of this, but it was FTR against White and Lethal.
Not Lethal.
Juice
Robinson. Juice Robinson.
Yeah, sorry, Juice. And it tore the house down. It was the best match I think AEW has ever put on. It told a story. It was great. I said, if they do this every week, they're going to win me over as a fan. I might stop watching Wednesdays, but I'm at least going to DVR this and watch it Sunday mornings when I wake up and have my little eggs and ham. That was sort of my thought process.
And I believe that show did 677,000 viewers.
It was somewhere in that range. Yeah, it was up there.
Yeah.
It was up there. So that was something else we want to talk about is when the numbers came out today, all the neckbeards lost their mind. You guys are wrong. Here's what happened. It was actually really good. Guys, your numbers aren't good. And I'm going to tell you why. I took out the first 10 shows, or I'm sorry, the first show of the Collision Come to Jesus moment, right? Which was 816,000 views, and said, I'm going to take that out because when it's new, everybody loves it. When it's new, everybody's going to watch. When it's new, everybody wants to see the new shiny toy, right? And I said, I'm going to take this out. And I did the next 10 shows. And I sent you the numbers on those today. Do you remember what I sent you?
Not really.
Okay, that figures. I said they did about 549,000 average. So it was close to 550. They were doing 550,000 views. They're doing viewership is the numbers what I'm talking about here. By the way, thanks again for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Super chat's open. If you got something you want to say about it or you saw today, let us know. We'll be glad to talk to you. We appreciate everybody's support. Hit that notification bell. It is Tuesday, and let's get this going, baby. Then I said, you know what? I'm gonna be fair. The first 10 shows, it's the middle of the summer. People aren't really watching. I'm going to do the most recent 10 shows before the summer starts, when the TV ratings really start to die off. Here's where it gets funny. The March 23rd show, they didn't even record the rating for this thing. That tells me it might have been a really bad show and they don't want to show that number. That's what it said to me.
Right.
The last 10 shows have averaged 455,800 viewers. Johnny, that's a drop of 93,000 viewers. And that's not even counting the first show. 93,000 viewers they have lost in that time span. Do you know what averages that out to percentage-wise?
No.
They've lost on average 17% of their audience at home. 17%.
In the world of TV ratings, it's pretty huge. It's very, very large.
I can't believe that you've lost 17% of your audience on this show that has no wrestling competition at all and rarely has any kind of a sports demographic you have to go against all the time. Between the months of September and November, you've got Saturday Night Football on college. Then you have the playoffs, but they're not nearly, look, it's one game. That's all I'm saying. They do have some competition, right? I'm not saying that, but it's every year. And your numbers this time last year, I'm just saying, in November of last year, you had 518,000 people. In December, you had 400,000 consistently over and over again. Into the fives. The show keeps going down. You've lost a huge portion of your audience. This feels like a moment where if you're the owner of this company, you've got to take a hard look and go, we've lost 17% of our audience from a year ago. That's almost 20%. That's like Raw saying we only lost 170,000 people from our million-man march a year ago. That number's insane to me. That's insane to me. Put it that way to where if you had 1 million, you lost 170,000 wrestling fans. What does that say about your product?
Let me ask you this, Don. What do you attribute this to? There's got to be a reason.
Yeah.
I think we know what the reason is.
I think we do too. There is a severe lack of continuity between all three of these shows. They don't interconnect on a weekly basis to make you care or make you want to watch, because the people on the Saturday show typically aren't big stars. It's the FTR. It's FTR's show now. And quite frankly, I don't give a shit what they do anymore, because they're going to be on Wednesday if it's a big angle. I don't need to watch your Saturday show. Now, you saw this past Saturday, and this thing made the rounds. Wasn't it Roderick Strong that came back demanding a title match? Was that who it was?
Yes, it was. Because of rankings. They went back to Dollar Tree Adam Pearce and Tony Khan. And they said, hey, Roderick said, hey, I'm next strong. I'm ready to go. So the end result is, what's it going to be? Swerve Strickland versus, who did he win a match against?
He won a title match. He wants a title match. So now he's going to get to fight, I believe, the number one contender, I believe. But that's what I'm saying. It's so convoluted. Even when I watch the clip, I can't remember, because it's like, why is this guy back in the title picture when he just lost a title to Ospreay, who won the Battle Royal Casino thing, and now he's back in the title picture? I don't understand where this is going from a booking angle. It doesn't make any sense to me.
One thing just popped into my head when you were talking about the ratings. People could say, oh, I had a lot of competition just throughout the years. A lot of competition from the NFL, a lot of competition to college football, a lot of competition from the NBA, a lot of competition from Young Sheldon, things like that they complain about. If they have it recorded and they're going to watch it at hours later, those ratings still count. If they watch it on demand on their cable system, on their cable box, those ratings still count towards the 2 days later, towards the final rating. So they can't use the excuse as competition. Because competition means nothing in time shifting content on your TV nowadays. It's streaming, it's on demand, it's all time shifted. Watch it whenever you want to, but those ratings, those views count later on down the line, a couple days down the line. But who wouldn't want to see a show like this, Don?
Oh, you got it, don't you? You've been dying to go to this, I can tell.
Who wouldn't want to see Thunder Rosa versus the Reina Dorada, who Dave Meltzer even said this is one of the worst women's matches he's ever seen on AEW television, which says a lot. Reina Dorada, whoever the hell
I have no idea who that is.
We had the West Coast Wrecking Crew, whoever they are, versus Lee Moriarty and his tag team partner, Low Plains Drifter. Couldn't wait to see that. Now, that would be a match that I wouldn't know who's going to win. You know Thunder Rosa is going to beat Reina Dorada. That's a given. She's the name. She's a homegrown talent. Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty versus the West Coast Wrecking Crew. I'd have to say Shane Taylor's team won. Claudio Castagnoli versus Johnny TV, the former Johnny Nitro.
Oh, God. How about
the
Johnny
former John
Jobber?
Henneman?
Johnny Jobber.
Yes, who's been languishing in ROH recently with his wife, by the way. They shifted her over to Ring of Honor.
And wasn't she not to interrupt you, but wasn't she like the next big thing when they signed her? She's a game changer. She's going to be amazing.
Buddy, they're all the next big thing until the ink dries on the contract. And then a couple of matches on Dynamite, then you're on Rampage, then you're on Collision, then you're on Ring of Honor to die, unless they need you for Collision. Yeah, she was in the corner of Johnny TV. Who's going to win that match, Don? Claudio, of course. Then you had Leo Rush take on Roderick Strong.
This guy's back again.
Leo Rush taking on Roderick Strong. Who knows? Why? After 2 years, they're using him again. Why? 2 years, Don. 2 years playing Call of Duty on Xbox Live with Miro. 2 years.
Where you forgot he was even signed. We both forgot.
Right. 2 years. He came out and complained about black people being treated badly by Tony Khan. And then you never saw him again.
And now he's back. He's back with the vengeance.
He's back. Oh, let's not forget this match. Daniel Garcia and Katsuyori Shibata. Say it.
Brainless Wonder.
Say the first name.
I'm not doing that. You're not doing that shit to me tonight. You know what kind of condition I'm in.
Yes, the man who had a brain transplant, Shibata and Daniel Garcia, who needs a brain transplant, versus the workhorseman. The workhorseman.
God, that's still
Who's going to win that match? Who's going to win that match? Who knows? I don't
Who cares?
know. Who cares? And then the main event was Will Ospreay versus Kyle O'Reilly and his dirty shirt. Jiffy Lube Employee of the Month, Kyle O'Reilly.
All this is to say, they need to stop this show, put a hold on it, put a pin in this bad boy, and hit the reset mechanism and go away for 2 months and come back with something new. Same thing with the Friday show. Put a pin in it and come back, or actually don't come back. Let that thing die in the desert where it belongs. No one watches that horse shit anyway. Nobody's watching that God blessed thing. It's the worst show they've got. This Saturday show is creeping up there for one of the worst wrestling shows I've ever seen. It's just awful. And think about it. A year ago, this isn't like, 3-5 years ago. This was a year ago. They had 800,000 people go, I need to see this. And then said, I don't need to see this again anymore after 6 months. 6 months, Johnny, it's just been down the toilet. Down the toilet.
It's horrendous. Oh, and by the way, we heard from FTR during this show.
Oh,
FTR,
yes.
Who bald FTR got booed out of the building. If you saw the clip on Twitter, he's cutting a promo with a bandage over his head. And there's a guy in the background. You can hear him playing his day in front of those 1,200 people. Boo!
And it wasn't like it was just, it wasn't like it was just a boo like a boo. It was boo! Boo! It was like a cow booing. That's the only thing I can compare it to. They had a cow as a fan booing. That was the only difference. And this was the loudest shit I've ever heard, man. It was almost as loud as, who wrote this shit? It was on that level. And the whole crowd could hear it. And I'm watching the whole time going, can somebody take the mic off the crowd for once? This is horrible.
They're asleep at the switch, dude. They're asleep at the switch. And it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, the softest man in professional wrestling. I'm not talking about J.D. Drake. He is a soft man, a man of large carriage, but he looks great in a tube top. But I'm talking about Dax Harwood.
Where's your Pringles can photo when we need it? That's what I'm saying. That's one of the best things you ever did. I love the Pringles can photo you did. I just want to talk about this real quick because this was a show you and I, when it first came out, we were so trying to enjoy this show, and they can't get out of their own way. And, I don't know about you, but I'm thankful that the Young Bucks acted like complete assholes. I'm glad that Jack Perry acted like a complete and total moron, because without their childish behavior, we'd still have CM Punk in this company. He'd at least give you a reason to tune in, but there wouldn't be very many others. MJF is back, and at least be a reason to tune in. But outside of those two ideas, there's nothing else left there for me. Swerve Strickland has been put out to dry. This Saturday show, there's nothing going on worth watching. There's nothing going on worth DVRing. The Friday show died within a month it came out. Just here's my thought process. Why didn't they put this Saturday show on Sunday at 7 o'clock? Why not put it there? You have the least amount of competition Sundays at 7 o'clock. It would have been a perfect time slot. Right before Sunday Night Football kicks off in the winter, and there's nothing really there in the summer, unless you want to watch a baseball game.
What they should do with this entire promotion, in my opinion, is just hit the reset button, like WCW did when Russo came in. When Russo came in with Ed Ferrara to write WCW during the Monday Night Wars, they just reset the entire promotion. All the belts were up for grabs. All of them. That's what they should do with this. And pair the belts back. You don't need 50,000 title belts. You do not need that. And from what I understand, what I read today, that New Japan Strong title for the women is going to be a U.S.-only belt. That's only going to be defended in the continental United States. So look for Mercedes Moné to win that at Forbidden Door when she fights that. That's going to happen. They're going to load her up. They're going to load her up. Speaking of getting loaded up, I can only imagine this guy drinking a lot of tequila after being booed out of the building.
Francis Loop says, Collision on a regular basis feels like a 2-hour Rampage episode. There it is. Collision on a regular basis feels like a 2-hour Rampage episode. Collision needs its own roster. I would merge it with Ring of Honor and have those champions be the Collision champions, hence Ring of Honor Collision. I hear a lot of people. Go ahead.
He doesn't want to kill Ring of Honor. He wants that to be a separate entity. He does not want to kill Ring of Honor.
But here's my issue with that. And I know that Ring of Honor has got it's got a fan base, I'll say that much. The problem is that it doesn't.
What, 5,000 people, Don?
Hold on, it does not have a cross wrestling promotion status. If you don't, I just know Ring of Honor came on Sunday nights on my local programming here. I've never seen a single match. I've heard about them. I've never watched them. AEW does have a brand, and it's not a dead brand. In my opinion, Ring of Honor hurts everything AEW does because those titles are meaningless. You are only a wrestling promotion on a national basis if you have national television exposure. That's the only way it works, in my opinion. You can't call yourself a champion of a wrestling program if that program isn't on television. Ring of Honor champions are presented on AEW, not with them, but on them. Like, that's the biggest difference.
Right. When I lived up in Baltimore, I went to a Ring of Honor show because they operated out of the Dew Burns Arena, which was in Canton, Maryland, which is like a suburb of Baltimore City. And it was down by the water. Dew Burns Arena, right there. It's on the Dundalk border. And if anybody's familiar with, probably not. No one's familiar with the Sega Genesis might be, but no one's familiar with the lay of the land up in Baltimore. You don't have to actually have your head on a swivel when you get out of your car, but when you're leaving the arena, you want to. The Dew Burns Arena, they would perform in front of 200 people. The arena's capacity was like 325. That's it. That's how big the crowds were. Okay. Ring of Honor. And that's when they were doing all their TV tapings there. When they were on the Sinclair Broadcasting Network, because Sinclair was based in Baltimore.
And thank you, Francis, for the $10 donation. We appreciate it. I see my man's got another question real quick, but first I want to get to Motorhead, who had something to say about your favorite wrestler, Dax Hardwood. You see what he said?
No, I didn't see it. Put it up.
He said
I truly feel bad for Dax. He's making money, but he's burying his name and his reputation in the mud, constantly jobbing to Motorhead's favorite tag team, the Bum Yucks.
And he's not wrong. I mean, it's just...
He's not wrong.
The last couple of promos he's cut have just been... They've been cringeworthy at best. They're just... It feels like he's just sucking up to the company at this point in time. I don't get the feel of a professional wrestler when he cuts his promos anymore. I get the feel of a yes man who's trying to put over his owner and get that next contract because his is up in a year or so. That's how I'm feeling about this. He blocks everybody on Twitter and you don't even have to say anything bad to him. It's just, hey man, I feel like if you guys did this, it might be a little bit better for your company. You're blocked, insta-blocked. I can't handle criticism or any kind of a, hey, here might be a better idea. He wants no part of it.
I get the feel when I hear him do those promos of a newborn baby calf suckling at the hind teat of a cow named Tony Khan. And no one's going to tell the man. They're all afraid to tell Dax, that cow's a boy cow.
Hey, that's not a teat you got over there, pal. Francis also says, pal. You know how many people are clamoring to see Athena on TV every week, but she is stuck on Ring of Honor. Even their new women's TV champion is killing it. Here's my issue with
paid very, very well to languish in Ring of Honor because she signed an AEW contract. They threw in Ring of Honor. She's probably paid the most money she's ever made in her entire life as a solo superstar, wrestling superstar, to languish in obscurity. It is what it is. She's happy. Just like this guy, Dax Hardwood, and Shotgun Willie, his tag team partner. They're all happy. Work one day a week, maybe two, and get paid more money than they've ever seen in their entire lives. And they're home to take care of their kids. They're home with their wives. Can't put a price on that for them.
Here's my issue with Athena, and this is just me. She hurts a lot of people she gets in that ring with. She lands on a lot of faces. She lands on a lot of girls' heads.
Yes, she does.
What are you saying?
I'm saying she's a little stiff, pal. A little stiff.
Yeah, I mean, for all the work she got in WWE, and she might have a large fan base, I don't hear from them, quite honestly, Francis. I don't hear a lot from the Athena fan base. I've heard from, I think, 2 people in the past 2 months, where's Athena? I couldn't tell you where she is. I don't know what her matches are like right now. I know the last time I saw her, she landed on the girl's face again. And it was the second time I'd seen her in, I think, 2 months where she did the same thing. And I think that's the biggest reason you don't see her on TV, because she does have your reputation for being a little bit sloppy in that ring. She does.
You remember that clip that was on Twitter maybe about a year ago of her beating up that jobber in Ring of Honor? They were outside. She beat that girl from pillar to post. Feet to the face while the girl's up against a barricade. She got a running drop kick and clocked that girl right in the face. Beat the bejesus out of her. I couldn't believe it.
So I get that Athena's got some fans. My issue right now is that the women's division in the AEW is almost piss poor from top to bottom to begin with. It's just not.
Monet, Don.
God, here we go. Who actually looked like she can wrestle. Just don't put her on a microphone. Don't let her get near a microphone. If you don't let her get near a mic, she's fine. When she's in the ring, it looked like she could actually go. And like I said, that's the first time I've seen her wrestle a full match, because I wasn't paying attention to her in the WWE. I never was. It just wasn't my thing. Grey Goose says they need to either merge Ring of Honor into AEW or just dissolve it. And here's my issue. Here's my issue with that. You can't be Ring of Honor in AEW. You have to have your own brand. You have NXT champions show up in WWE television programs. But guess what? They have their own channel for their own champion. That's what determines it, is actually being on television. That's what makes you a champion on a national syndicated show, is if you have a nationally syndicated show. If you're not on AEW regularly, you can't be a different champion from a company in the same umbrella. NXT has a champion. NXT also has a television show. Even if he's just broadcasting it on YouTube, at least that's something to have, to hang your hat on, to show to a producer or a company or an executive. It just doesn't make any sense to me to have this company out there anymore. Now, if you want to say they should just get all the Ring of Honor people on AEW Saturday show, we might have something there. That might be something worth discussing. Having them an integral part of the AEW show with a different champion for a title that means nothing doesn't make any sense to me.
You've got an idea there, Don. Build a feud for Ring of Honor for one of the belts on the Saturday show. And then if you want to see the culmination of that feud, got to watch it on Ring of Honor TV. Got to pay that, what is it, $15 a month? Anybody in the chat can help me out here. $15 a month for Ring of Honor? I don't even know. I wouldn't watch that with, Dax Harwood's eyeballs. But
that's sort of my thing is.
That's a hill he's dying on, because he blew the CW deal. He blew the CW deal because he wanted Ring of Honor. He blew the Warner Brothers Discovery deal because he wants Ring of Honor as a separate show, or have it on HBO Max, or Max, as I should say. He wants pay-per-views on Max. We'll get into the contract talks in a little bit, but we're at the halfway point almost, folks. So let's do a little light housekeeping here. Please give us a thumbs up. Please give us a like and subscribe. Your likes mean the world of us. They mean everything, because it moves us along in the YouTube algorithm. We've got more views. More people watch this channel than subscribe to it, because of you giving us, am I right or am I wrong?
Well, there's a lot of hate watching, I think, too. But yes, no, we do get a lot more views than we do subscribers, which is crazy to me.
To see these two handsome men talking about wrestling.
I got a third on my shirt, like a boss man, baby. Like a boss man. But yes, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, notification button. We appreciate you guys coming in here. We love talking to you guys. It's awesome, man. I really enjoy it. And, Ring of Honor clearly has got some fans out there, Bottles. They want to see more Ring of Honor, but the problem is the AEW brand itself is what's struggling right now. So how could you bring a second brand onto a show that's struggling with your primary brand? Like, it doesn't work that way. Your primary brand has got to have a core audience. It's just got to. I don't want to sit under the learning tree on Saturday nights. I can tell you that much. I don't want it on Wednesday nights.
Don't bring that guy up. Don't bring that up.
Why?
The goddamn learning tree. Jesus God. That'll be Thursday's show. We'll talk about the learning tree, because I'm sure he'll be all over. He'll be all over.
Might not be talking about the learning tree on Thursday. We might, we're closing on a special guest for Thursday, folks. It's still in the
a
works.
name from the past.
A name from the past and the president of the independent scene. So we're hoping to lock this down. No. Tune in Thursday and find out. You'll know Wednesday in the thumbnail. I'll put it to you that way because we're going to make sure we get this nailed down tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it.
If we can nail this down, we're going to have a guy who was a prominent player in WCW during the Monday Night Wars.
He's wrestled in every major company, and I'll leave it at that. Every major company. On
Everybody
TV.
do the homework on that.
Yeah, do your homework now because there's not many of them, but I bet you can figure it out. Anyway.
Do your homework. Give me a wriggling on the diggling, too, down below.
There it is.
Where the bell is. Got to have it.
There's a lot
Set
of
your notifications. Because you never know. We might have a surprise show on Friday. You never know. Have to see how long we go on Thursday with our surprise guest.
The contract talks that are going on are behind the scenes and all the hubbub and hubbubaloo about Tony Khan and what's going on. It's getting out of hand right now with what everybody's saying and what's being misreported and what's being reported. And the bottom line is the only people that know about this shit are the people who are actually behind the scenes. And that's sort of the thing. That's sort of the thing, right? Oh, we got a question from Billy. Billy says, do you think TK would have thrived as a booker back in the old school WWE, WCW, or ECW? He wouldn't be hugging talent at press conferences.
No, he wouldn't be thriving as a booker. He would be. He would probably be booking for
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor. Ohio Valley Wrestling. No, he wouldn't be. No, Cornette would have punched him in the face right away.
Yes, he would have.
And he would have went to Ohio Valley Wrestling. He would have got a right cross right to the face. I would see him in IWA, that hardcore mud show promotion, the IWA. I could see him.
And look, the truth is he needs to hire a booker, right? He's not a booker now. He never will be. He's the money guy, right? That's what he does. He likes to collect his favorite wrestlers, immediately push his new favorite collection wrestlers to the top of the mountain, do as much shit as he can with them inside of 6 months, and then goes and gets a new favorite wrestler. Who's the new toy that I can have right now? I don't see him. And look, I've got nothing against Tony Khan, but he's got to back off of this thing and realize this is not my lane. I need to seek someone in this business that has been doing this a long time. And by doing it, I don't mean even booking. I mean somebody who's been in the wrestling business that understands the psychology on how to tell a long-term story or a short-term story or how to get a blow-off feud going. Because right now, people disappear and you forget they're on the show. Where's Rush? He's suddenly back. Where the hell's the Hangman Adam Page? He's suddenly gone. All these guys just disappear for no reason. And then they just come back. And you could do this shit in certain ways. They could have beaten the hell out of the cowboy, Buffalo Pants Plowboy, and just said, hey, beat his ass, write him off TV for 2 months. That way there's a reason when he comes back. There's just guys that disappear. Where's Hot and Flexible, the Miro wife? Hell, where's Miro?
Miro is trying to stay away from the Hot and Flexible ex-wife of his, since they're divorced now. And Hangman Adam Page, I heard he's taking his wife and kids on a 8-week stay at Dollywood. That's where they're having a vacation.
Butterfly pants at B. But no,
pants.
I don't see him as a booker of any dimension. I don't think he can book. No. I think he has a passion for this business. I don't think there's any way to deny that. He clearly loves this business. He's willing to make himself look like a complete fool on shows like the Rich Eisen Show and ESPN. He's willing to throw himself under the bus as it rolls over him. But I just don't. He needs to be the guy that's being told how to do this and then let him think he's putting his ideas in, and you take that shit like Vince McMahon did with Russo and turn it into something. There's a filter of an idea. Let me see if I can make you happy.
I watched the Rich Eisen Show today. His appearance when he was on the Rich Eisen Show. I couldn't take more than 15 minutes of it. I couldn't. It was an absolute shit show. He couldn't look at the man and engage him in conversation. He kept looking at the camera like this, and Rich is over here talking to him. Yeah, and then when Jack Perry came back, and I went to meet him in the ring, and they reinstated him, and then they ganged up on me, and they gave me a pile driver. They named it after me, the Tony Khan pile driver, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going, what? He kayfabed the entire thing. He kayfabed the entire injury, says neck's all better now. But my hat is, I'm not wearing a hat, but my hat would be off to him because
Where
he
is your
wrote a
hat?
check for $100,000. What's that?
Where is your hat? You're usually rocking hats. You're messing me up the last couple of weeks.
I had to take the hat off because I'm trying to cultivate what I got growing here, pal. I
don't know what's going on over there. Which, by the way, Billy, thank you very much for the $4.99. We appreciate the question, buddy, a lot. We really do.
Yes, we do. Don, I got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Jake Hager, the former Jack Swagger, gone from the company.
Yep, we talked about that last week.
Mark Henry, gone from the company.
We talked about that.
Arn Anderson, gone from the company.
Talked about that.
How long before backstage stories come out about what goes on behind the scenes in AEW?
Do you want to know the truth? I don't think you hear anything about it, to be quite honest, because those guys are all class acts. I don't think they're going to shit on the guy that gave him a couple $1 million to show up and work a little bit. I don't think you're going to hear anything bad about it. I just don't see that coming.
I think you'll see Arn Anderson on WWE television.
God, I hope not. I hope not. Please don't let that happen. Please.
Manager of Cody Rhodes.
No.
Manager of Cody Rhodes again. Oh, yeah.
No.
I think it's going to happen.
God, I hope not. Please don't let that happen.
And I think Jake Hager did not renew his contract because he wants to get in the UFC, which he was never in before. He was in Bellator. He couldn't get into UFC. So he went to Bellator. And Bellator is, UFC's owned, of course, by TKO Sports, which owns WWE. So I could see some cross-pollination going on there. You know, Jack Swagger's only 42 years old, in the great shape. I won't say the best shape of his life. He's in great shape.
That's too old to be getting into MMA, man. You're way past your prime at 42. Like, your reflexes have slowed down. That ain't the way to go. Look, I got nothing against Jack Swagger. He's just not the guy. He didn't work in the WWE. It's not working in AEW. They kicked him out. They said, you can't even get under the learning tree. You've got to go out in the parking lot and do something out there because we don't want you here anymore.
You and your purple hat.
You hit your purple hat. Go hang out with Grimace at McDonald's. He likes purple shit.
I can see him selling hot dogs at the next UFC event.
Dear God.
And his purple hat.
Anyway, I want to get to some SmackDown news and notes because I had some. I'm not going to cover this. I'm not going to cover this in depth, but I just want to give you some notes on what I had. Right?
Go ahead.
Nia Jax. This is what I had coming out of the gate. Nia Jax should not wear the outfit she's got on. That is not a big girl friendly outfit. Bayley is out here rocking 1986. Who the hell's putting clothes on these girls? I don't know if you remember this or not, but it was not a good look. And the whole premise of this show was AJ Styles' retirement, right? There was a lot of good stuff going on here. There was a lot of good stuff. I enjoyed this show for the most part. Little Nate, the referee, was out there. He was doing his thing. I enjoyed watching him.
How old is Little Nate now?
He's got to be in his 50s, right? Got to be.
He was refereeing WCW in the 90s. In the 90s. Think about that. He's got to be 60.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to be in his 50s at least. He might be 60.
Gotta be.
But I noticed him. I was like, he is. And I said, he's still doing it. Naomi demands a match. Blaine Davenport comes out. LA Knight's looking for Logan Paul. LA Knight segment follows, which is great. Carmelo Hayes comes out. And I got to ask you this, man. He had a bad slip verbally in this thing. Carmelo Hayes did.
Yes, he did.
He's not working, man. He's not working.
He's faltering. Carmelo Hayes is faltering. They may have to, I don't know. They may have to go ahead and have him work more house shows, cut more promos live in front of a crowd or the house shows, get his feet wet during that. He had no problems in NXT. But, of course, when you're in NXT, you've got all week to rehearse your match and your promos. Now you're on the fly, dude. You're out there doing the house shows. You're on live TV. You've just got to jump in with both feet and do it. And he must get nervous. I don't know.
I just want to hit the high notes here because this was not one of them. LA Knight, though, is gold. The dude can still
gold.
You give him a 2 minute.
What is going on? What's going on with LA Knight? Why are they holding him back?
You know where it's going. He's going to get that U.S. title at SummerSlam. I said it 6 months ago. I said that's where he is. That's where we're going to go. The Bloodline segment, I said, what the hell's with all the red? Why is everybody wearing red? I thought only the tribal chief wore red, and I noticed all these guys are wearing red. And that sort of leads me to believe everybody thinks they're a tribal chief in this unit now. That's sort of what I thought. I don't know if you're picking up on that or not.
I think the mystery is who is the real tribal chief. Is it Roman Reigns? Is it The Rock? Or is it Jacob Fatu?
I'm glad you said that because I got something that I put down on here. Kevin Owens comes out, the shoulder segment again. I just said, I stopped taking notes. This thing was so good. Dude.
You're talking about with Heyman? Oh, my God. It was so good.
It's gold. It's just gold. Everything Paul Heyman does right now is pure gold. I enjoy everything he does. He acted like a lunatic on the end that's been kidnapped and is suffering to get the hell out. Everything Paul Heyman does makes me laugh my ass off. It's absolutely great. Freaking perfect. Loved every minute of it. What did you like it?
I did love it. I didn't know where it was going. But Paul, who would have thought we'd have a face Paul Heyman?
I know.
A baby face Paul Heyman. Kevin, you're full with these men. They are evil thugs and he almost said murderers.
He did. He was on the verge.
He was on the verge. Who would have thought that Paul Heyman would be afraid for the opponents of the Bloodline? They're telling a long-term story here, which is going to be going on for a year now. This is going to be stretched out for a year, Don. You know it is. Until next WrestleMania. The story of it's not stopping. The story of the Bloodline. Heyman's got a hand of booking all his shit, so you know he's booking this. And like the kids say nowadays, Don, let him cook. Hold up, let him cook. You got to let the guy cook.
A lot of things I thought I'd hear out of Johnny Bottles in my lifetime. Let him cook is not even the top 3. Not even top 10. Good Lord.
I'm hip to the lingo, Don. I'm hip to the lingo.
Holy shit. It's hip to be
I speak jive.
Where you're going? And he throws in an airplane reference from nowhere. Oh,
Stewardess, I speak jive.
Kids, look it up. If you've never seen Airplane, it's one of the best slapsticks you'll ever see. Absolutely golden.
It made Leslie Nielsen's career, gave that man a second career at the age of 58. He was gold in that.
That's where you got the original line, Shirley, you must be joking. I'm not joking, and please don't call me Shirley.
What happened to the pilot? They took him to the hospital. Hospital? What is it? It's a big building with doctors in it, but that's not important right now.
Holy
and the great
shit.
Lloyd Bridges had the ultimate line. Well, just I want to go in line. He was one of the air traffic controllers.
Yes.
He looks up. He's the head of the air traffic controllers. He looks up. He goes at the camera, I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue. And at the end of the movie, he's hanging upside down like a bat in the tower with his hair hanging down, fried out of his brain because he was sniffing glue, smoking weed, drinking, whatever. He was doing everything.
If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's great. Street Profits come out. I said they've got to get some more TV time. This group is too good. They're not getting pushed enough. And this is what I put down for the Bloodline. I don't think these guys are extra talented in the ring.
The new Bloodline.
I said these guys feel like the Four Horsemen with Paul Roma right now. That's how they feel to me. It's just not getting over.
They do. They need to have these guys talk, Don. They need to have them talk. They need to have them say something.
Anything
in front of the live crowd.
Then you had the Jade and Belair moment. I just said this is awesome. They're just awesome. Keep them on the TV. They're absolutely golden. Bayley and Naomi match versus the Green River shit. I don't care. Keep going. On to the retirement. I don't know who the hell these chicks. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Let's just jump into it.
Cody shows up and the roof comes off the joint. I don't want to hear that Cody Rhodes is not over. I don't want to hear that Cody Rhodes doesn't have a following. I don't want to hear that Cody Rhodes doesn't have a fan base. He is the biggest baby face in wrestling right now. He's bigger than LA Knight. He's bigger than Jey Uso. He's bigger than anybody in this business right now. The numbers don't lie. The merchandise doesn't lie. Everything that has him on it is selling. The tickets, the merchandise, it's all selling.
I'm very, very blasé towards Cody Rhodes in the matches. in the match department. It's like I always say, what do you want to talk about? All that bullshit. I can see him hugging and kissing the kids and the fans and all that. But when the bell rings, it's if he doesn't have a good opponent and not a good feud, it's just blase.
See, you and I differ on that. I have yet
We
to
do.
see I've yet to see a bad Cody Rhodes match right now in his return to WWE. I've enjoyed everything he's done. But the whole reason this worked out so well is because you've got AJ Styles out here screaming, guys, this is it. I'm finally going to walk away. I've had enough. It's time for me to leave. I'm going to walk out the door, go home to my family. And I got my wife and I got my son watching this, right? And they haven't seen this long enough. They don't know what's going on.
No.
AJ Styles is my son's first favorite wrestler ever. It wasn't John Cena. It wasn't The Undertaker. It was AJ Styles. My son is having a moment watching this. He is in his feelings on this. He's like, man, my favorite wrestler is going to leave. I've watched him as long as I can remember. I am so sad. And I told him, I said, don't worry, little buddy. He's still going to be an asshole at the end. And he said, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. And the crowd's going crazy. And Cody lifts his hands up. And they go back to look at the other side. And all of a sudden, you heard AJ Styles go, your mother's a whore! And clothesline Cody Rhodes in the middle of the ring. And I said, yes! There it is! Finally!
That's it.
We got an old-fashioned retirement screw you moment, originally brought to you in 1940-something by who the hell remembers, and it's been done ever since. And I laughed my ass off and told my wife and son, I told you it was going to happen. And he got him outside, gave him a Styles clash onto the hard floor from the steel steps, and I said, here we go again, and it made logical sense. They just had a feud. He lost. He's still pissed about it. This is a carryover to SummerSlam. Perfect. We got something for the next pay-per-view. PLE, excuse me, Swerve.
One thing missing from the whole angle. A salmon-colored sport coat. Remember, Mark Henry did the same thing?
Yes.
But he had on that pink salmon-colored sport coat. That's what AJ Styles needed.
But this felt different because they'd been building it the last several weeks. Mark Henry felt like it was just, okay, I'm going to announce something tonight. It was all over social media. You saw him. He was like, I think it's time for me to make a big announcement. And
right,
it was just
out of
nowhere. Yes, out of nowhere. And that was a great angle. When you get a good retirement angle, they are golden. And we haven't had one, I think, since, I want to say, Triple H and Batista.
I'm going to tell you right now, and you're going to say I'm crazy. The chat room's going to say I'm out of my mind. They're going to face each other at Clash at the Castle, and it's not going to hurt Cody Rhodes to lose that title to AJ Styles at Clash at the Castle, then have a rematch and Money in the Bank. It's not going to hurt him.
Do you want to bet a pizza on it?
Given my track record of betting when I make a pizza bet with you. No, I'm not betting a pizza on it. This is just what I'm thinking. This is what I'm inclined to believe. I'm inclined to believe that due to the interference by Gallows and Anderson, I think if they want to do what's best for business, as the old
You just hit on it. You just hit on it.
Have him lose to AJ Styles. Cody's good as a fighter coming from underneath to try to win the belt. And so they can say he's a two-time WWE heavyweight champion, universal champion, or whatever they're calling that belt now.
Now I don't even know what the hell they call it now. Now it's just a recognized.
And AJ Styles goes out in the third match, the rubber match. That's the retirement match. AJ Styles will go out as a former WWE Universal Champion. He's never held that belt before, I don't believe.
I do not believe he's going to lose the title. I can see him losing the match in a non-title defense because he's going to say it's personal now. This isn't about my title. This is personal. That way I could see him losing. I don't see him losing that title anytime soon. I don't see him losing that title anytime soon. And I feel, look, if they're, let me finish.
If he wins it back right away at the next PLE, if he wins it back right away at the next PLE, it would be a swerve to all the fans, Don. All the fans. Okay, it's going to be a fucking match with AJ and Cody, and they just put this thing together, and it's a throwaway feud. Oh shit! AJ Styles just won the belt. People in the crowd.
I can't see it, and here's why. Randy Orton is going to be the opponent at SummerSlam. We both agree on that. The heel turn's coming when he comes back. Right?
But there's a pay-per-view in between. There's Money in the Bank.
There's two of them. There's two of them.
Well, be that as it may. Cody can win the belt back at Money in the Bank.
Is he even wrestling on the next PLE? That's my other question, because I don't know that he is.
Who?
I don't know that Cody Rhodes is wrestling on the next PLE.
That's going to be the match. Styles and Cody at the Clash of the Castle.
The match is Drew McIntyre and Priest. That's the match.
They're not going to have the other championship belt defended at Clash of the Castle? The other
I don't know that they
championship?
I haven't seen it yet. It hasn't been announced. It hasn't been announced.
Come on.
I'm just saying. It hasn't been announced. I'm not buying it, Bottles. This is going to be a homecoming for Drew, and it's going to set up the screw job from CM Punk. That's going to send him into a tizzy. It's going to send him over the edge. Okay.
But I'm on ecstasy right now, so I don't know what to believe anymore.
I don't
know what to believe in.
You can believe this. Raw was in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That crowd had its moments. Thank God it wasn't such a dead crowd this week, because the dead crowds lately have just been killing me. And I don't want to go through all of this shit again.
I think it was 8,600 people they were in front of. It was a small arena. And you'll notice what they do now is they have these smaller stage setup, which they had at Hershey Park, to get more people in.
Bron Breakker, they showed him backstage coming into the parking lot.
Come on.
No, we're going to get to that, but we're going to get there. Hold on. I could see it already. You're ready to jump all over this like a fat kid on a donut. Liv Morgan starts the show, and you have had a huge difference of opinion with me on this. Is Liv Morgan winning you over yet?
She's a whore.
But is she winning you over?
I said it. Everyone else is afraid to say it. Meltzer won't say it. She's a whore.
She's a strumpet. I don't know if I'd go that far.
Now, Liv Morgan is dude. When I'm in the other room
getting
another beer and I'm nuking a Hot Pocket, all I hear from the TV is Meg Griffin. And I turn around, it's Liv Morgan.
Look, this Dominik Mysterio segment was golden. The crowd is all over his ass.
Dominik Mysterio is fantastic.
They are all over his ass.
The built-in heat plus the way he carries himself as a heel. And he loses his shit when he can't get a word in edgewise. It's fantastic.
They got a "you suck" chant going. It's just absolutely great. And then you get her trying to push him in to the corner. And here we go. See, look what you did. Look what you did. I can't win with you guys. I just can't win. Look, I enjoyed
this. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm telling lies.
Finn Balor comes in the middle of this thing when she's got him backed up. And she's going to kiss him, right? It's Finn Balor comes running in, right? She leaves. And there's a cat call whistle when she leaves. Did you hear this shit? It was great. Somebody was cat calling in the ring. I was like, this is old school shit. This is good stuff, pal. You got cat call whistles. You got a chick putting pressure on a man. This is good shit.
She's not the best promo. They all sound the same cadence, the same tone of voice, but she looks good delivering the promo. When the bell rings, she's the shits. She can sell.
I'm not saying she's not. I'm not saying she's not the shits.
Can you see her losing to Rhea Ripley or retaining that belt against Rhea Ripley?
I will break my television if that shit happens. Oh, shit. Hold on here. We got it here. Gil has come
Gil
in.
with the $1.99. Two podcast host just got a Jimmy C block.
I just
Now,
said I like her.
I agree.
I just don't
Let me
like
tell
her
you
in the
something.
ring.
I agree with what a lot of Jimmy C says in terms of the female wrestlers that he follows who have talent. And she's very, very, how can I put this about Liv Morgan? I hate to go into a 5-minute Liv Morgan.
She's eye-catching.
She's very eye-catching. Easy on the eyes, a comely, fetching young lady. But when the bell rings, she's the shits in the ring.
It is horrible.
Tag team wrestling, if she was a tag team champion with
they could hide it.
They can hide it.
But you can't hide how bad she is in the ring. I do not disagree with you there. Her in-ring work is D+ at best. Not a big fan of it. But I even like the laugh that she has because it's so shitty. I think she laughs. Yeah, I think she really laughs like that in real life, which is why it's so great. I think that's how she sounds. I don't think she's putting anybody over. That's her real voice.
No.
By the way, thank you all right now for watching tonight. We appreciate the donation. Thank you, Gil. Please like and subscribe. Hit the ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling. Hit that notifications button. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends about it. Tell your mother to subscribe, even though she'll never watch. I don't care.
Yes.
Right now, the views outpace the notifications. It's getting crazy in here.
Outpace the subscriptions, you mean? And what are we at right now, Don? 760?
I think we're close to it. We're trying to get to 800 here the next week and a half or so, if we can get there.
Trying to get to 800. We're trying. Next 2 weeks, we're trying to get to 800 subscribers. And,
I think
it's a slow roll. But
I'm not going to go too in depth on Sheamus match, but Kaiser has jumped Sheamus 2 weeks in a row. You think you'd start looking out by now, fella? Because he's going to jump your arse.
Dude, Sheamus looks like he's not doing too good.
He looked kind of rough in this thing.
He's not looking good at all. Like he's, I might have come back when I shouldn't have come back. I should be used as a special attraction. And I can't wrestle every week like I used to. And take me back to catering. Wheel me back to catering to the donuts, fella. To the fella.
It's, look, this was a good match for what it was. I'm not going to sit here and shit on it because the right guy won and he put the right guy over. And Sheamus at the end of this thing looked like he got the shit beat out of him because he did.
Yes.
He took this. He said, hey, look, I'm going to make you a star. Because don't forget, it wasn't that long ago. Kaiser was putting over everybody in this company. And here we are 2 months later, and Kaiser's getting put over everybody in this company. By the way, he's not the biggest guy, but he's got something to him. His style is great. I enjoy him in the ring. His promos are great. I think they've got another star in the making here, Johnny.
He's got something big to him. And you know who told me that? Tiffany Stratton.
Oh, will you stop?
That's his girlfriend in real life.
I can't take you anywhere. That's the last time I take you to that public beach, by the way. Jesus. It said optional nude.
I did not do that behind that sandbar. I don't care what anybody says. I did not do that behind that sandbar. That looks like somebody threw a Baby Ruth bar away to me. I don't know.
It's not what the cop said. Anyway, we had a JD moment, the Judgment Day moment. Oh, man, Damien Priest, you're killing me, brother.
You know what my problem is with the Judgment Day?
Everything.
They're all elves. They're elves. They're all short guys. I'm glad they threw Carlito in the mix because, good Lord Almighty, dude. Dominik, Finn, and JD look like I don't know, 4/5 of the Seven Dwarves. I don't know. I'm not casting any aspersions on anybody, but go ahead, Don. Don't mean to interrupt you, Don. I'm sorry.
The Damien Priest rehearsed promos that they have him spitting out is not good. Get away from that. Stop having him say shit that would not naturally flow out of this guy because I've seen him cut promos on his own, and this ain't it. It's
Did you see the backstage promo?
Yes, it was horrible.
He was reading off a cue card. You could see him, his eyes going over, reading the lines off a cue card. Not saying that. I just give him a bullet point and have him do it like the old guys did. Like, let me tell you something. When we go to Clash of the Castle, it's going to be the worst day of your life. I'm going to whip you like a dog in front of your wife and children. What about that?
I'm going to beat your ass in your own town and make you cry in front of everyone. I'm going to send you home attacking. CM Punk's not going to be your problem anymore because you're going to be so embarrassed to return to the States. It's going to take you 6 months to gather the pieces of the pride that I shattered in the middle of that ring. Anything but the shit they're giving him.
Jesus, Don. I felt a chill go down my spine.
Anything but what he's saying is just not working, man.
It's not working at all. It's very manufactured.
Yes.
Hey, the guy's great. He's got size. He's got presence and all that. He just needs, let him wing it. Let him wing it. Let him wing it. Have Drew McIntyre show him how to do it.
Anything.
Ricochet
has his moment backstage with Dragunov, which Dragunov is apparently going to be a face now. I did not see that coming. Did you?
Yes. Supposedly, here's the rumor. At Clash of the Castle, it's going to be Ricochet, Dragunov, and Breaker in a 3-way match.
Okay. Well, it's funny you say that. So out comes Dragon Lee. He's got a match with Finn Balor. Carlito comes out. Dragon Lee loses. I said, thanks for coming. Strowman comes out. We got a match announced later. So whatever. Sami Zayn is shown backstage. He's going to come out later. Priest says Carlito needs to fight Strowman. R-Truth has another moment where he's just, what the hell? Yeah, this was another good moment for R-Truth where he was a complete idiot and it worked.
And that's a guy who makes up his own shit and doesn't have any pre-prepared lines. He just says it. And it's gold.
The best part of my life was being in the Judgment Day. I said, what an asshole. It was great. I'm going to zip through
And he's
this.
looking up. He's looking up. And Carlito starts going.
Sami Zayn finally comes out, calls out Chad. Alpha Academy comes out. Blah, blah, blah. Maxine's in it. Is she in a swimsuit when she came out? Because I'm on a wrestling gear. She literally had like a swimsuit bottom on. I was like, what the hell is that? Bro, I'm telling you. Anyway, they have this all set up. Yeah, they have all this set up for Chad Gable to attack from behind. Otis bows up. You get the classic shove in the back. He thinks Sami Zayn did it. Chad calls him out. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. So you clearly noticed her outfit.
I noticed a lot about her.
Okay. I figured. So it's slider in a bottle. I got you. After this, they had the Chad Gable moment in the back. I'm going to get through the rest of this real quick. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time. And I just wrote, Chad Gable is an absolute asshole. That was absolutely perfect. He's doing his job. Doing his job.
Doing his job. Yeah. Yeah.
Ricochet came out wearing...
Don, he's leaving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. They keep saying that Friday's his last day, supposedly. He's got a damn PLE match in a couple of weeks, but Friday's his last day, according to all the experts online. This is why I take those guys with a grain of salt. They're full of shit and they know nothing.
Right.
He's out Friday. Get the hell out of here. They don't tell you until they want you to know. That's the point. Right. Freaking idiots, man.
Give us $5 and we'll tell you what happens.
No shit. Contract. Just, it's utter ridiculousness. Ricochet That's a good gimmick. Out.
Maybe we should start doing that.
No shit, right? I'll lie to you for $3.
Right.
I heard it's actually Tuesday after the PLE. It's up. Tuesday. Like and subscribe for $3. Jesus.
Yes.
Anyway, look, this Ricochet comes out. He literally had on an entire roll of duct tape. Bron Breakker, I have seen the future, and it is him. He absolutely is everything that I want in a professional wrestler. He's a big, badass guy that you can believe in. Nothing about him is fake. He threw the stairs at Dragunov when he came out. Just struck them. Perfect. You bought all of this. You bought it all. Everything about this guy says professional wrestler. And this is my caveat that I hate about the WWE because Michael Cole said it again. He is a superstar. Bring back the term professional wrestler because not everybody needs to be a superstar. There is a place in this company for a pro wrestler. And Jericho had the right idea a couple of months ago when he started doing sports entertainer. Superstar versus pro wrestler. It's just the wrong guy to do it because that's what he is. He's an ex-superstar. He's an ex-sports entertainer. They need to start doing that kind of thing in this company, and I think you'll go somewhere with it. Bron Breakker's
a rock singer. ex-rock singer.
I will never say this dude was a rock singer ever.
What about that leaping up to the top rope, Frankensteiner, out of nowhere? It happened so quick. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. It was insane. He's so athletic. He's so far. He is the next generation of great wrestlers. He's going to be the guy. And if he can't talk, please give him a mouthpiece like Brock Lesnar got for all those years. Because Brock on the mic was not always great.
He was in NXT all those years and never had a major injury. Wrestling the style that he wrestles. He runs the ropes. They clocked him at 23 miles an hour running the ropes. There go the magic windows. The magic windows. Sherry hit the switch. And the magic windows dimmed. I love it. I got to get that automated. Do you have that on Google Home or Alexa? Where you can just say, Alexa, dim the windows.
It's my life, pal. It's my life. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm going to get through this. Some chick named Kiana James came out wearing a purse and battled Italian. I've never heard of this chick. Okay, I've never heard of her. I'm not getting into this. She won. She looks the part. She looked like she could wrestle a little bit. This just didn't entertain me. The New Day segment, and I'm going to say this.
You're not going to say anything about Natalya?
No, I got nothing.
Will she stay or will she go?
Yes.
Let me shake the magic 8 ball. Signs point to inconclusive.
Exactly. Dude, if she wants to stay, I'm sure they'll give her a friendly deal to keep her there. Nothing insane, but she will probably get a much bigger contract from Tony Khan and his mark ass. That's what it comes down to.
She's not leaving. She's not leaving.
I'd be surprised.
There. He's an agent. She's going to be an agent eventually. She'll probably be in TNA, which we'll talk about in a minute or two with the trade-off that they're doing with talent. She'll be in TNA to wrestle somebody over there, a couple of matches, and she'll be back with WWE programming. Yeah, she's doing great. She's doing great down at NXT, putting over people down there. And what she does in NXT is she'll wrestle the girls down there and say, this one can come up. She knows what she's doing. She's great. This one needs some more work. This one over here, she's not done baking yet. And she's
she'll be the queen.
The gatekeeper.
She'll be the X-Pac of NXT, is what you're saying.
Essentially.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Don. Didn't mean to interrupt, Don.
The New Day segment, Karrion Kross and the mustache is over with me. And I don't want to hear shit. Karrion Kross with that mustache and this dude demeanor, everything about him is great except for one thing.
What's that?
The manager. Can we get rid of him? He doesn't fit this anymore.
Ellering.
He's got to go, dude. He just doesn't fit. He's out of place. Nothing about him is making
the two acts, Don. They need to separate the two acts.
I like the chick leading these three guys out, going for the tag team belts, and have the old school Freebird rule where any three of them can defend it. I can get down with that. His promo was great. He told him, your boy's not going to be there. I thought it was awesome.
You know why he hasn't wrestled? He's filming a movie. Karrion
Kross was?
Yeah, he's filming a movie.
Okay.
I think there's a low budget flick somewhere. He's trying to break into Hollywood.
Is Peter North in it?
No. No Peter North. No.
Anyway, Bron versus Carlito is next. Judgment Day comes in. I'm just trying to get through this. Dom is freaking great in everything this guy does.
Everything he does.
He is such a great shit heel. I don't know who he watched, but when your dad's Rey Mysterio, you've probably got a pretty good teacher. He was perfect in everything he did.
Right. And look, you look at Don. You look at Don. Look at Dom. Don.
Oh, God.
No, he's got Ray telling him what to do, how to be a shit heel. He's got Conan as a family friend telling him how to be a shit heel, telling him what to do, what not to do. Bron Breakker's got Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner, his father and his uncle, telling him how things are, the way things work, what to do, what not to do. That there's a little ADHD Italian guy with spiky hair wearing leopard skin saying, you can't teach that. somewhere.
But here's the thing, right?
Yes.
Everything that has worked in wrestling in history will continue to work. You just have to change up how it's delivered. The heel turn where I'm going to retire and then he doesn't. Right? One of the biggest ones you can remember dates all the way back to Terry Funk. I don't want to fight you, Ric Flair. I'm just kidding. Ah! And then he nails his ass. Yeah, I mean, just it works. All of this shit can still work in modern day wrestling. You've just got to present it a little bit differently. The other part about this for the Bron Breaker thing is out came Liv Morgan again. Nothing puts over a shit heel like a woman getting between the guy that's going to kick his ass and a woman. It dates back to as far as I can remember. You get a pretty girl out there to stop the big bully from beating on the shit heel, and it sells every time. It sells every time. Doesn't matter who it is. Then the Judgment Day beats the shit out of him. They beat Braun Strowman's ass with that chair. He was taking some shots, pal. I was impressed with the chair work in this whole thing. 2 thumbs up. Way to get that ass kicked.
I think he gave up a little too much to the Judgment Day Oompa Loompas. I think he did. But it was good. The chair was bending. It looked like they were actually causing physical pain to Strowman. I'm sure when he went backstage, he had a few words with J.D. McDonough about the way you were clubbing my knees, pal. Yeah.
Look, I enjoyed this, but this is the other part I took about this. Finn Balor interrupts Liv Morgan circling Dominik Mysterio again. It's the same guy twice in the same show getting between them. Don't be surprised if there's something up right there. Don't be surprised. I'm just saying. Keep an eye out on it. They showed the She-Hulks backstage. They look tremendous. They're wearing their lime green shirts. Everything about them looks great. Of course, I'm talking about Bianca and Jade. One of the 2 biggest stars in here. They have a match. They beat the shit out of some girls. It's I don't even know who the hell they are. Don't care. They start whooping their ass, and they get jumped by 2 chicks. So that was kind of weird. They had the match against Shayna and Zoe. They got jumped on. That was weird. I don't know who these chicks were. I got Alba and Isla. That's their name. Alba and Isla.
Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the witches covered or whatever they're calling themselves now. Another big faction that's loved by Jimmy C. And they're great wrestlers. They really are. They just never had a chance on the main roster. They came up from NXT. That's all you need to know about them. They're from Great Britain. They're carries over from the NXT UK period. So,
and that's fine. That's fine. They did their job. It took 4 of them to beat down the 2. I thought that was great. That way it doesn't hurt the faces, and it gives the heels like, we will beat your ass, and it doesn't matter why. Anyway, moving on. Drew interrupts Damien Priest. I said, this is the best Priest has looked the whole show because it felt like he was actually cutting his own promo and saying his own words. That's all I got to say about that. Io Sky. Was it Io Sky that's still throwing a fit backstage and losing her shit?
She beat the hell out of Lyra Valkyria because Lyra Valkyria beat her in the King of the Ring tournament. She beat her up. So this is a great, crazy angle.
It great. Really is.
Yeah.
I was thoroughly entertained. She came back there and beat her ass and just started throwing shit everywhere. It was great. It was great.
Like she owed her weed money. Beat the piss out of her.
New Day versus
when she hit that table, Lyra Valkyria, that backstage case or whatever it was, she probably pulled a Willow Nightingale, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A little trickle of pee came out.
I enjoyed it. I'm not going there yet because we got to talk about that shit later. Not tonight, but later. New Day versus the Authors of Pain. You could tell the New Day at least something is happening with the New Day. At least something is changing in this dynamic. You can see something is going to happen. Thank God. By the way, thank you for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. Super chat's open if you got something to say. Got a couple more things I want to cover. Rey Mysterio versus...
hang on a second. Speaking of the New Day, have you seen who's in Mexico getting stem cell treatment? Big E. Big E is with MVP
Come on,
down
man. Don't
in
be doing that.
over today. MVP's got it on his YouTube channel. I never knew he had a YouTube channel. But MVP and Big E are down there getting shot up with stem cells. One in the neck and the other one wherever he's hurting. MVP's only 50 years old. I thought he was older.
Here's my thing.
He wants to make a comeback. Go ahead.
That's what I don't want. I don't want that. I just want it to be for their health. Don't do this to make a comeback. Do this to better your life expectancy, not to come back into the ring. MVP is great on the mic, and he needs to accept that's his role now. The only issue is that MVP is so damn big that it's hard for him to have that role because he's bigger than most of the wrestlers he's going to represent. That's the problem. You cannot get heat if you're a manager that is 6'4", 250, and jacked to the gills. No one's getting sympathy on you. No one's going to buy you possibly. But again, no one's going to buy this guy. Is he can beat the shit out of half the roster the way he looks right now. Are you going to put him against yeah. Who is he not kicking the shit out of in a Judgment Day? Everybody but Priest. He's got everybody else by the nuts.
That's the problem with the Judgment Day. Maybe Carlito. Could have a good match with Carlito. Balor, McDonough, Mysterio. By the way, what happened to Mysterio's sling on his arm?
Oh, I don't know, but that was great. I noticed that too.
Supposedly, he was having all the dirt sheets said he was having Tommy John surgery with a ligament in his arm, his elbow. His elbow's shot. Blah, blah, blah. He's running around at the end of the show with no sling on his arm, using both arms. Bullshit.
Show. We have taken forever on this. I'm going to get through it. Drew and Ray had a match. Sorry, Priest had a match with Ray. He wins. Game over. Drew comes out. Drew ends up getting chokeslammed to the table. End of Raw. I thought it was a good Raw. I enjoyed the show. It wasn't as good as SmackDown, but I didn't hate it. It had its peaks and valleys.
It had its peaks and valleys, but nothing cratered like AEW Collision.
Nothing.
Where you started off stepping in dog shit and you just couldn't scrape it off your shoe. That was AEW Collision. From the beginning to the end, you just couldn't scrape that off your shoe. Go ahead,
I want to talk about, do you have anything that's got to get done because we're getting long here?
We're talking about TNA, Don.
Yes, you did have some TNA news I wanted to hear before I get to this last point I want to make.
Dave Meltzer's newest thing right now, everybody, is to shit all over TNA because somehow, all over it. Somehow he sees that as a competitor, a viable competitor to AEW. He sees one going down and the other one's not doing much better. However, due to the WWE TKO Sports involvement in the backstage machinations of TNA Wrestling, it could be some big things happening with TNA. Number one, they got rid of their entire marketing team. I told you about this on the phone earlier. Yes. They got rid of their entire live events team. They have no live events done booked past August 1st. No shows anywhere booked past August 1st. The guys who would book those shows are no longer with the company. And there's no one doing it either. They're also bringing Jordan Grace in to NXT, to WWE. She's probably going to have a match. Well, she's got a match at the NXT show at their PLE. That's coming up, I believe, this Saturday. If I'm not mistaken, that's going to be from... Go ahead.
Is she wrestling the NXT men's champion? I'm here to see Hogan. Holy shit, who let him in?
Bring me your finest competitors. I'll take them all on.
Bring me your finest bottle of Chardonnay. Jesus, pal.
The hell? Good Lord Almighty. I haven't had my period since 1997.
No shit.
Good Lord. She's facing the what's her name?
Exactly.
Roxanne Perez, who is the NXT Women's Champion. But TNA is being 4% bankrolled by TKO Sports. TNA also announced that you could see TNA Impact, because he got a problem with Access TV, is not being carried by all cable systems or satellite systems. Have you heard this now? TNA Plus, which is the TNA app. The TNA app. What are you laughing at the goddamn chat?
No, I'm not even going there.
I will have to say, if you ever watch our show live, the chat room that we have,
it's off the chain. It's great.
It's off the funniest freaking people you'd ever want to see commenting on this. They're just a great group of guys and girls
and gals
and gals, yes. But TKO Sports bankrolled the TNA Plus app. They wanted to find out. Anthem, who owns TNA, that's the company from Canada owns TNA, said, we want to do a better app than what we've got. Who do we get? What do we use? Guys from TKO Sports said, well, we got the UFC fight app, blah, blah, blah. We could work on this for you. We do something similar. Sign us up. They invested 4% of their cash, 4% of the operating costs for TNA. That's what TKO Sports is doing. It's much like Vince did with ECW. To a certain extent, to a certain degree. So WWE has their fingers in. They got their fingers in TNA, which is probably a poor choice of words on my part. Yes, they're getting a cut.
They're getting their cut.
So what they're going to do is, I believe, TNA will eventually be bought by WWE. I'm saying it first. They're going to be eventually bought by WWE and TKO Sports, and it's going to be a farm system for the WWE.
For outside people that aren't discovered by NXT, meaning veterans of the ring, people that have been on independent shows, people that people have actually heard of that don't need training, so per se, but actually just need a format to get seen and noticed on a grand stage. That's what you think.
Yes.
Whereas the NXT brand is made to introduce new talent that is trained and taught by promos, wrestling, and everything else within the WWE confines.
And they probably feel that those new people will benefit by working with veterans, indie veterans in TNA. However, the new tweak right now is you can watch TNA Impact on the TNA Plus app live at 8 o'clock Eastern time when it debuts on Access TV, because a lot of people can't see Access. That's their new wrinkle right now.
I want to say this about this before we close the show.
Yes.
Meltzer has been shitting all over this company to deflect the horribleness that has been AEW as of late. AEW's product has been miserable as of late. The Saturday show is non-existent. The Friday show died on the side of the road. It's roadkill. It's literally the raccoon you saw get hit on your way to work this morning on I-95. That's what it is. And the thing is, the AEW Collision show is the squirrel I hit my driveway this morning. They're both roadkill. It's just how big of a roadkill is it? You're not saving either of them. They both got to go away. And Dave cannot stop shitting on everything outside of AEW. He can't
handle it, dude. He cannot handle it. He can't help himself, like you said. It's just
there was one. Excuse me.
He's the biggest PR machine.
There was one other major story that came out of Coachman this week, and
Jonathan
I don't know that you know that it came from him, but the salary of one MJF was released to be reportedly $15 million.
I heard that. That could be over a 3-year deal.
It could be over a 3-year deal. The part that was ridiculous about the whole thing was he didn't specify and made it sound like it was a 1-year, $15 million deal from everybody and how it read. Everybody saw that it was $15 million. Do I believe for one damn second that Tony Khan is a big enough mark to pay MJF $15 million for 1 year? No, I don't even think he's that big of a mark.
Right.
Do I think he'll pay him 3 for 15? I could see that because he is the biggest star in the company. So everybody's screaming about it's a 1-year deal. It's I would bet my house that it's not a 1-year deal. I'd bet my house.
They're paying Okada 4.5 a year to say, shut up, bitches.
I heard that's been reduced as well, by the way. I heard that's actually closer to 3 now.
Wow. So the longer they stay, the less money they make.
Well, no, the longer they stay, the more you hear about the truth. That's the bottom.
Yes. That's a good way of putting it. Yes. Don, I've drank a quarter beer. I smoked a cigar. I'm fed up and tired.
I can look at you.
What do you think?
I want to say thank you all for watching tonight. We hope to have our special guest Thursday. Thank you all for
Hopefully.
tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, make your pets watch. I don't care. We need some views. We need some subscribers. Thank you all so much. You want to know who wasn't making more than a couple $100,000 a year?
Oh, that guy.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.